Hello, basketball fans. You've got it on 2K Sports as we get set to bring you an exciting NBA basketball game. Joined in the booth with Greg Anthony and Brent Barry, this is Kevin Harlan. Our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. A moment now to check out who's leading in the All-Star voting.
And a lot of fans and players interested to see how this thing all turns out.
You look at George. He's got a place in the starting lineup as it stands now. He's at number 5 in the Western Conference.
And I really feel like the fans got it right. A lot of players are having big seasons in the West, and he's right up there with the best of them.
And we'll keep you posted as the voting continues. Now let's take a look at the Bulls' opening lineup. Porter and Markkanen, the duo at forward. Zach LaVine is out there with B, and it's Davis in at the 5 down low. And for the Clippers, Patrick Beverley out there with Paul George. And it's Green. Then there's Cauley Stein, and it's Leonard in at the small forward. A lot of trade rumors beginning to swirl now, Brent. Several teams out there trying to add talent, and sometimes it comes at the expense of team chemistry.
It can, and I think teams who are very, very aware of their potential to be into the playoffs are careful to tinker with that. If they know they're going to have an opportunity to play in the postseason, the additions that they have to make, Kevin, they have to understand that that player coming in is great for us, but how is it that that player comes in? Who does it affect in our locker room?
Or they make a trade or don't make a trade because they're worried about team chemistry, how it'll be affected.
Exactly. Yeah. But again, I'll go back to an addition sometimes into a locker room with just that talent may affect the talent you already have. And if you're really cognizant of that fact, sometimes not making the deal is the best deal to make.
And Davis sends it back. Here's B. There's the killer two-handed slam.
And you got to like the vision for Markkanen. I mean, a big man who knows how to find the open man.
Beverley feeling it out a bit. Pass to Leonard. He can't get that one. Nice D from Porter. And powered down the jam.
Gives a team such a great element having a one guard who can get to the 10.
Certainly something every team wants to have.
Like to see that assertiveness, especially from the guy who's going to orchestrate your offense.
Here's Leonard. Nice shot from 10 feet out. Leonard's got 5 points so far.
Well, it's the golden age of point guards, and Patrick Beverley trying to show that he belongs amongst them. Great awareness on that play.
And it's Davis missing. Clippers have gone 2 for 4 from the field so far today. Unloads from 13. That one's not going to go. So the Bulls will take it the other way. And this is the first season matchup for them against this Clippers team.
Yeah, and a bit of a revenge game for them as they were swept in the 2-game season series from last year.
And this one of the few opponents who really stuck it to them during what was an otherwise excellent season for them. You're right, they've got to have revenge on their minds tonight.
And he sinks the second.
Well, we keep talking a lot about Anthony Davis and the fact that when he was a young player, he played the point guard position and then all of a sudden grew like 60 inches to play center position. You see that skill set show up now and again, but really what you're seeing now about AD is his maturity in the game, finding spots on the floor where he can absolutely be dominant and control any kind of offensive possession from wherever he is on the floor.
Pass to Leonard. Over Porter, and Leonard gets it to go on the assist by Beverley. That's 7 points for Kawhi Leonard.
Well, that basket must be widening out right now, Kevin. He's making almost every shot he's putting up this quarter.
And at Kentucky, Davis mostly an interior player, but he maintained, Brent, all along. He was capable of more than he showed in college.
There's no question about his skill set, and in the NBA, the opportunity, along with the transition of the NBA game, and especially the center position, he seems to be coming along at the appropriate time to show all of his wares off, Kevin.
Big group substitution here for the Clippers. Zubac is checked in for Willie Cauley-Stein. Andrew Shamet comes in for JaMychal Green. Wayne Ellington's checked in for George. Lou Williams is subbed in for Patrick Beverley. So Chicago going with an almost entirely new group here. Carter, he's checked in for Anthony Davis. Young comes in for Markkanen. Chandler Hutchison, he's checked in for Porter. And Satoransky subbed in for Zach LaVine.
Every time they get scored on during this run, it's come from inside the paint.
Picked him clean. Here's B, and it is flushed down with a nice jam.
Well, if you don't take care of the ball, fellas, that's what can happen.
Absolutely, Greg. That makes the turnover even more painful.
And the gamble paying off.
Ellington the pass to Zubac. Whoops, they pick off the pass. Puts it up from 12. Offensive rebound. No good from B.
I'm not sure where the lack of focus comes in there, Kevin. That's not like him. The defense is close, but there's enough space to score.
Zubac with it, and Young picks him up defensively. Zubac the pass to Shamet. 6 to shoot. Back to Zubac. And that one goes long.
Well, he finds some space in that in-between gap there, Kevin. Too bad he can't release that one on target. That's a tough rebound if you don't have the length that he does, so the size paying off.
Leonard. Oh, and the jam by Leonard.
It looks like an orange in his hand, and Kawhi tenacious to the rim with that finish.
B, he's guarded by Williams. Here's B. Oh, and the buzzer beater's good.
Ringing the bell. That's the way to close a quarter.
Well, you love nailing the last second shot. Always a feel-good moment.
And so it's the Chicago Bulls holding on to an 8-point. Paul George had that nasty broken leg back in 2014. He just...
My inspiration really came from my mother. You know, her dealing with stroke, her dealing with...
Well, what a story. George worked hard to get back and is not disappointed in his return.
You know, recovering from a devastating injury is never easy, but George's perspective and commitment helped him to overcome it.
And thanks again for tuning in. If you're just joining us, we've played through 1 quarter of action so far. And guys, what's your take on the Bulls so far?
Well, they used the fast break to generate some easy buckets before the defense could get set.
Yeah, they did a great job. Just the initial thrust of that attack, as soon as they got the ball, constantly in transition.
On the court right now, second quarter for the Bulls. Young and Carter are the big men inside. B out there with Thomas Satoransky. And it's Valentine in at the small forward position. Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Hey, Kevin, B in that last game against the Lakers was tremendous. He scored 53 points and got there the usual way. An impressive barrage of three-pointers. It's rare to see any player put up numbers like that. It's likely a game he'll always remember. Kevin?
Yeah, David, he was in attack mode all night long. GA really propelled them to that win.
When he's on, he is on. And there isn't all that much you can do to stop him.
And sometimes you can just look at a guy and you see the confidence that he's playing with. That's what I like best. Well, even though he misses that one, the defense has got to talk about that, Kevin. Oh, man.
He's going to put that one in his scrapbook. Insane dunk.
And now they're starting to rub it in, build up a lead, and here we go, baby. It is showtime. They've been struggling here on offense.
Yeah, a bit of a dry spell for sure.
And the Clippers call time here. In addition to going over the game plan and making whatever necessary adjustments have to be made, Greg, this timeout also the time for players to get rehydrated or hydrate for the first time with some Gatorade. Plenty of basketball still to be played here, and they have to get recharged.
That's a great point. Without proper hydration, a player can completely run out of gas down the stretch of a game. And that's something that none of these guys can afford to have happen. If you're going to battle all the way to the finish, you have got to be hydrated.
Here's what the Clippers are going with right now. Cauley Stein, he's checked in for Zubac. JaMychal Green comes in for Kawhi Leonard. George is checked in for Wayne Ellington. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Williams.
Well, for so much of what Paul George brings to the table, you have to start with his defensive impact. He is one of the top defenders in the league at his position, if not the best.
Well, that's one way he can finish, but far from the only way he gets it done. He's got all kinds of tricks up his sleeve.
And for those of you just joining us, we're almost 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. You look at George with all he does, Greg, you sometimes forget how good his perimeter defense is.
Well, I mean, his teammates and coaches won't ever forget about the impact he has on that end. Even when George isn't scoring or the shot isn't falling, he is still a monster on the floor just with his defense alone.
And it's going to be out of bounds. The Bulls will retain possession.
You love the pressure he's putting on them. Almost had that steal.
Yeah, pestering right now, and that's going to pay some dividends. At some point, there's going to be a turnover.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Lowry Marketing comes in for Marjanovic, and Porter subbed in for Valentine. And for those of you just joining us, we're in the second quarter with about 3 minutes gone by. And the pass to Cauley Stein.
This is why Davis is considered one of the best defenders in the league. His mere presence is good enough to alter those shots. Now, I'll be honest, I thought there's no way that he's missing that close. That's a bunny. Give it up for the aggressive defense, Kevin.
Levine against George. Shamet on the wing. High arcing shot, and it's Anthony Davis with the rebound. Davis has got his 4th rebound in this one. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. The Bulls have shot 2 free throws, and they're 1 of 2 so far.
And they've had really good numbers all season from the free throw line.
Wendell Carter, he's checked in for Anthony Davis.
You take a look at Anthony Davis and his frame and think about his rookie year coming in so thin and moved around a lot by bigger, stronger players in the post. No longer the case, as he's put on a ton of muscle to that frame and continues to grow in the strength area along with his confidence. That's helped him out a lot. Well, it's one thing to play good defense, but then to alter the shot and get the rebound, that's a good day's work.
The shot by Cauley Stein, no good. And here's Levine, who brings it up for Chicago. 14 points, their largest lead in the game.
Changing ends quickly. He's rewarded with a high percentage look.
Yeah, the defense trying to do their best to slow him down, but when he gets room like that, you got to look out.
A different look for the Clippers. Ivica Zubac has checked in for Willie Cauley Stein. Lou Williams is subbed in for Landry Shamet. Outside Williams. Outside Green. Clock at 6. Back to Williams. Launches a 3. And again, it's the Clippers missing. And here are the Bulls now. They're on a 12-4 run. Chicago with a new 14. Shot clock and game clock separated by less than 6 seconds. Here's B. Bangs home the trifecta. B's got 28.
What a performance on the offensive end. He's making the defenders pay right now for all of the mistakes they're making.
Here's George. From deep. And no good in the last second attempt this time. And through one half, it hasn't even been close. Bulls out front. And And as we dive into the second half, we'll find out if the next 2 quarters are any different from the first 2. So far, it has been a runaway. You know, B has been exceptional here, guys.
The burst he's had when going at the rim has been fantastic. A lot of strong finishes through 2 quarters.
This is why the best athletes in the world play this game. If he finds a hole, he rips through and throws it down.
Green is out there with Cauley Stein. Then it's Patrick Beverley. Then there's Kawhi Leonard. And it's George in at the 2-guard spot. That's who's out there for the Clippers. We're at the number of trades now starting to involve stars. It feels like the league's power balance is always shifting to some degree.
Yeah, and I think organizations that are trying to stay ahead of the trend, Kevin, might think about, we might have a star for just 2 years. How can we get the next one? Backside of that, Kevin, is a lot of these star players are signing deals that are not extending to 4, 5, 6 years. You can't even do that anymore. So you get a guy for a couple years. What he wants to do is maximize his earning potential for 1 or 2 seasons, become a free agent again, and then look around the league where opportunities not only to win, but to also cash in. That's what's happening in today's game. Down the stretch, he's been flat out awesome. He helped them get the lead, and now he's making sure they keep it.
Here's Leonard, makes the bucket. Now he's got 5 field goals, 5 for 8 in the game.
Count on Kawhi Leonard to work as much as he needs to get to the spots on the floor where he can be successful. He's a good shooter from mid-range.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
And we get a chance to check out the numbers for George. He's averaging 19 points per game, 7 rebounds, and 3 assists. And you look at the numbers he's been putting up, fantastic scoring production from him.
Yeah, hard to ask for anything more at this point. He's really stepped up, and he's really delivered.
Shots good from B.
Yeah, there's 6 points on consecutive 3 balls. They're finding holes now in the D.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Leonard finds Beverly. And he can't answer back. The three-pointer offline.
And a big lead for them on both the scoreboard and the backboard thus far. You're not going to see that very often. Plenty of space, but he just, let's face it, he whiffs on that one.
He's not the guy that you want to give a wide open look from 3-point range. They're lucky that that one doesn't cost them.
And watch out, you don't bring the whole basket down on top of you, young fella.
I don't think he ever wanted to let go of the rim. LA has gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Passes it to Leonard. Over Porter. Los Angeles with another miss.
And I was sure that was money on that one, but everyone is afforded an easy miss or two.
Yeah, that happens. Important thing is for players, just don't beat yourself up and make a miss like that cost you another play.
Here's George. And the Clippers miss again.
So weird. Sometimes when you get that much time, it can throw you off just as much as having no time.
I tell you what, he was on a mission on that possession. Did not stop working until he got it up and in.
Just over 2.5 minutes gone by here in the second half. Guys are looking for a spark here.
Yeah, a cold stretch offensively for sure.
Los Angeles calls timeout.
And coach can't be happy, and I think I know why. Their defense putting up no resistance inside.
No, they're not preventing them from scoring, and if you can get to a high efficiency shot on the floor, and that's the paint, you just keep going.
So for the Clippers, Zubac is checked in for Cauley Stein. Ellington comes in for Jermichael Green, and it's Williams in for Patrick Beverly. Chicago also making some changes. Thaddeus Young, he's checked in for Markkanen. Chandler Hutchison comes in for Otto Porter Jr. And Satoransky subbed in for Zach LaVine. The Bulls have shot a good percentage from the free throw line so far. They've made 5 out of 6. Wendell Carter, he's checked in for Chicago.
And if they continue, Kevin, their outstanding free throw shooting, that'll help them seal the deal.
Here's Leonard. And good. He got the English that time as it falls. Leonard's got 4 this quarter.
Not something we're used to seeing in this offense, but tonight it may be just about give Kawhi the ball and get out of the way.
Williams passes to Leonard. He kicks to George. Back to Leonard. He shoots again, and it's good on the way in. Leonard, 15 points.
Maybe he's thinking at this point, man, somebody's got to help me. I can't do this all by myself.
Greg, I'm just so impressed with the level of finesse and craftiness that Lou Williams always plays with.
And Kevin, you don't stay a perennial 6th man of the year candidate at Williams' age without having more than a few tricks up your sleeve. He's so good in tight spaces and can find a way to get a shot up where others just have to kick it out.
Clippers have gone just a bit under 50% from the field since halftime, 5 out of 11. Here's B. Throws it down as the official calls the foul. It may be a three-point play. It's on Kawhi Leonard.
And I think that play sort of sums up what we've seen tonight. Just simply being outplayed both sides of the ball. Smart basketball defensively, turning into easy points.
Landry Shamet's checked in for George. Shamet kicks to Williams. Doesn't get it to drop for him. Excellent D there from B.
This feels like it's snowballed a little bit on them. The more he tries to shoot his way out of this slump, the worse it seems to get. They need him to get it together.
And boy, he's really in a groove. Dominant performance last game. Same thing this time out.
Seems to be nobody standing in his way. No roadblocks for him to get to his spot, capitalize, and continue to be aggressive.
Shot clock at 5. Ellington the pass to Leonard. Shoots over Satoransky. And it's Leonard. That time on the assist by Ellington. 17 points for Leonard.
What an advantage it is to have someone like Leonard. Everyone knows the shot clock is running down, but they also know that he'll get up a good shot either way.
And so it's Chicago, having no problems at all. Up 29 points heading in. And a worthy candidate tonight as we take a look at our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Well, a great job with
Felicia's checked in for Chicago. B comes in for Denzel Valentine. So the Bulls 5 right now. We've got B, also Thomas Satoransky out there. And it's Felicio in at the center. Williams, he sinks the 11-footer.
Well, at this point, they're just trying to get back in sync. You want to play a good brand of basketball.
consistency. Definitely is a key to some of the playoff performing teams. And tonight they just did not find it in this contest.
B, defended by George. Here's B. And just miss after miss right now. And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. This crowd was stunned by the manner in which their team was dismantled.
You know what? Shocking. I don't care what the matchup is. You never expect a road team to come in and just cruise to the kind of win they did tonight.
And that about wraps it up.